Hi all, this tutorial is about Hugging Face spaces. In the previous video, which is the Hugging Face tutorial, we talked about the first two components, which is dataset and models. In this, we will be talking about Hugging Face and spaces. To give you an introduction, Hugging Face Spaces is a cloud platform and it enables developers, researchers, and organizations to deploy and share machine learning applications. It focuses on easy deployment, interactive demos, collaborations, custom domains, secureable, and it is scalable. When do we use Hugging Face Spaces? When you want to prototype or develop, you want to develop proof of concept of applications, you want to try something out, you want to create a model where you want other people to use it. That's when you use Hugging Face Spaces. Also, like I said, product showcases, it's the same. Like you want to launch an interactive product demo for customers and you want people to try it and understand it. That's when you use Hugging Face Spaces. And the supported frameworks are Gradio, Streamlit, Flask, and Fast API. So now we will move on to the next component, which is the Hugging Face Spaces. So Hugging Face Spaces, like we said, has multiple models and datasets. Now you have to download these models, use it, and then write a code for it and more. So instead of that, we have Hugging Face Spaces. What Hugging Face Spaces helps you is that it's like a cloud platform that enables developers, researchers, and organizations to deploy and share their models, and people can access these models and use them. For example, like the sentiment analysis, I had to download and then I had to pip install it, or I had to give my API token and then use it. Instead of that, I can just search the space for a sentiment analysis model and I can just enter my statements there and then it will give you. So it helps you uh, avoid all the initial steps and go directly to what your task is. For example, I want to show you about Stable Diffusion. Now, Stable Diffusion is a model that you use to generate high quality images. It is based on latent diffusion, but latent diffusion features are very low and it is an improved version of latent diffusion. So, using Stable Diffusion, you can just give an accurate prompt of what you need and it will accurately give you or develop the image. So here, if you go into Stable Diffusion, and I'm going to enter my prompt. So my prompt, if you see, I want a realistic, cozy morning breakfast setting with soft, natural light pouring into the kitchen. A wooden breakfast table is set with a jar of strawberry jam as the centerpiece, surrounded by props like freshly baked croissants, butter, and a steaming cup of coffee. You see how accurate my prompt is? You have to give these prompts very accurately in order for the model to understand. So, this stable diffusion model has been trained on millions of images and key value pairs, basically, like prompts and images, prompts and images. So, since it has been trained on millions of images, it now knows what you're trying to ask it. So, the image is going to be accurate as possible based on what your prompt is or how accurate your prompt is or your requirement is. Now let's see when I run this what the output comes. So like I said, the stable here on the spaces, it uses a GPU. You have in your free trial, you have a certain GPU and request that you can do per day, and it creates the image. And also it has settings. You can set the width of the image, the height of the image, the guidance scales, the number of steps that you want it to iterate and go through your prompt before the image is actually generated, the seed, and etc. This is not the only model you can use to create images. There are multiple models out there. This is just an example on how you can use Hugging Face Spaces to generate images in this particular example. So if you can see, this is like an really accurate image that has been created based on my prompt. Like I said, I want strawberry jam. I said I want a human element, so a hand. I said I want strawberries, so there's strawberries present in croissants. And as well as if you can see the steam, how accurate the steam is coming out of this coffee cup. So, Stable Diffusions, I believe, and I consider it to be one of the best models present out there to create images. I think it is much accurate than DALL-E can uh, generate images. There's Midjourney as well, and we will have um, models and we will have guides for it as well. So, but this is about Hugging Face Spaces and how you can use it. There's also a guide present for Hugging Face Spaces present under the appendix section. The use of Hugging Face Spaces and what are the supported frameworks. It is Gradio, Streamlit, Flask, Fast API. How you can use Hugging Face Spaces. In this example, in this guide, there are two examples present. I've used a remove background model as well as the Stable Diffusion model. And the core components of a Stable Diffusion is the text to image generation. Like I said, you give a realistic prompt, you give an accurate prompt, and it converts it into an image. You can also do an image to image transformation, modify, enhance, or style existing images based on prompts. In painting, restore files or replaces specific parts of a file while preserving its overall appearance, and more. The advantages and the limitations of Hugging Face present in the guide.